Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And today we're going to get into our top 15 tight end rankings. Tight end, not the most exciting position in the NFL. It's kind of... It's really tough, actually, I feel like, after the first couple guys, the top guys here, you don't know what exactly to expect. So we'll try to do our best here to give you what we think about these players going out here. So before we get into that, make sure you guys check us out on Twitter at the FF Prophet or Instagram, Fantasy Football Prophet. The website's fantasyfootballprophet.com. If you have any questions, send them over to fantasyfootballprophet@gmail.com. We'll do our best to answer them on the air, especially. But look out also for... I think probably start in June, we'll do some mailbag episodes, do some of those going, so get your questions in, start thinking about those. We'll definitely answer as many as we can for you. All right, let's get into the ranks. I think, okay, I'm not actually sure. I'm curious. If you decided to go against Gronk this year and drop him, or did you go with Kelsey? Did you go with Kelsey one? I did not, but did you do it?
I did.
You did. I had a feeling you might do it.
Yeah, and anyone that went Gronk, well, here, go ahead. Why'd you pick Gronk number one?
I just think he's really good. It's
yeah,
Gronk.
Right. End of argument. Yeah, you're not wrong. The only reason I put Kelsey above him is really they're on a tier on their own. It's going to be Gronk or Kelsey. Those are number 1 and 2. If they're not, you're probably just wrong. But, really what it comes down to is if I'm going to invest that high of a pick in a tight end, Gronk, with the injuries that he's had, he's also, he contemplated retirement. They're both very, very close as far as points go. Gronk was number 1 by, I think he had like 8 more points than Kelsey last year. I like Kelsey a little more. That's why he's number 1. But really, you can go either one.
Yeah, most people still, Gronk is number 1 consensus, but there are 5 other people that put Kelsey number 1. You're not alone.
Sadly enough, I do think Kelsey is a little safer.
But he is 4th. Though on some ranks.
Oh, that...
Chasing more fantasy footballers.
No way, is it really? I swear to God. Dude. Jason, what is happening right now?
I'm just saying, it's kind of...
Okay. Number 4, whatever. I feel like you just bring him up to anger me sometimes.
I think he's 4 on somebody's board, so that's... I don't quite get it, because I don't see how you can say he's not top 2.
Yeah, I'm wondering who they think is... Anyway, let's not go down that rabbit hole. So who do you have number 3 then? So obviously you have Gronk, Kelsey. I have Kelsey, Gronk. Number 3 is...
I went with Ertz.
Okay, I did too.
Who was my big pick from last year. Who knew he was going to be good. I still think he's going to be really good, but now he just has... He's 3rd. He can't go... I don't think he goes up into that top 2 tier. I don't quite see it. He's gonna be very good, but yeah, I don't know if I see him overtaking. He can overtake Gronk, obviously. Gronk's hurt and stops playing, but I don't see him overtaking Kelsey. I think Kelsey's just better at this point. So
yeah, I agree.
And so Ertz is gonna be very, very solid. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be a solid pick. I just don't want to spend for it. Really, that's the thing. I don't want to spend on it. He is number 1 on 3 people's boards though, so. There are some people that do like him a little bit more.
I guess maybe... I don't understand that entirely either. I know that Philly is very, very good and they throw a lot in the red zone and he can catch, but what would change from last year? Even getting rid of Trey Burton or just, him going somewhere else. He really wasn't that huge of an option early on in the year. He was much bigger near the end or, in the playoffs. So I don't know if anything really changes for Ertz that much. They have a lot of options. They spread the ball out a ton.
That's the thing. Yeah, I don't see him getting up there. He could, yes, it's possible, but I just don't see it.
It is possible. And that's why he's number 3.
So this is where it gets more interesting, maybe. I don't really know yet. Maybe we're just going to be consensus. We're going to keep going. All right. Number 4. I went with Hunter Henry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not. I love Hunter Henry. I've been singing his praises forever, but I had to go with Evan Ingram.
Okay.
He showed me a lot last year. I think it really sped up his development. He produced as a rookie. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't produce this year. And even more so with, Odell back. And obviously with a brand new running game with Saquon Barkley, I think that Evan Ingram actually has the opportunity to get open even more than he did last year. So I think I really like where this kid is going.
I do too, but I had him at 4 when I first started my ranks. I dropped him as low as 7th, and he wound up at 6 for me.
Okay.
Part of it maybe he did really well last year. Odell Beckham wasn't on the field, so obviously Beckham's going to get some more catches. Sterling Shepard was hurt at times. Brandon Marshall was hurt. He's not going to be there, obviously. Anyway, I just don't know if all those catches are still going to be there for him. At the very least, I don't know if there's going to be an increase, at least. He might just stay steady at where he is. And somebody like, for me, Hunter Henry could overtake him just in production. Not that Ingram's getting any worse, obviously. So that's just kind of why I went that. And also, to my number 5, then I'll say, I put Greg Olsen, who, coming back from injury, I think he has one more good year in him like that. So I think I'm gonna want Olsen over Ingram. I obviously see Ingram. I can see him at 4. It's not crazy. I had him there. So at one point, so it's just kind of, I just for some reason have started to like Greg Olsen a little bit. Why, I don't know, but it's just kind of one of those players that keeps like just moving up my board a little bit. And if he's healthy, he's gonna be really good. I think he has one more run in him. So that's where I'm going. I went with Hunter Henry 4, Greg Olsen 5, Ingram 6. It's very interesting, I know. I'm just weird. Okay, first, before we get Hunter Henry, I've become the Hunter Henry guy now. And where'd that happen? And you ranked Sammy Watkins higher than I did.
I know. We're losing our minds.
Right.
I do actually have Hunter Henry at number 5.
Okay.
I love him to death, but at the same time, last year scared me a bit. I realized Gates won't be there. He should step up and do it. He should be amazing. I think he, out of anyone, has the most ability to actually jump up into that top tier. But number 5, nothing but love for him. Number 6, this is where it really kills me. At this point, you're really, you're grasping at straws. And I talked a big game not to go too high on this guy, but I have Jimmy Graham there.
Yeah.
He's Green Bay. Obviously, I like Jimmy Graham a lot. Green Bay has a long history of not utilizing their tight ends as much as people think they're going to, but this is still where Graham ends for me. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, he's my 7th.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that's kind of, he has to be up here. He just has to. And he could be higher. He does, though, have potential to be a number 1 guy. There's still, if Rodgers decides he just wants to throw the ball to Jimmy Graham, maybe he does. So he does have that potential. I would bet against it to be the number 1 kind of guy, but if you're going to take a chance at this point, Graham has a chance to be up there. We don't know how that's going to work. And does he actually have it? Does he still have it? I think he does. It's not New Orleans Saints Jimmy Graham, but put that Jimmy Graham with Aaron Rodgers and then see what happens. That would have been amazing. But it's not quite that. So 7th for me. This is part of the reason why the tight end position, though, this is kind of the spot where it gets not as exciting. But
yeah, it also scares me the fact that the guys I liked even last year, and we're talking Hunter Henry, and then I ended up with Evan Ingram on a lot of my teams because he was such a good waiver pickup for a lot of times. Those guys aren't sleepers anymore.
No.
Like, the guys you can get late now are the older guys that have been around forever, that are just not the new thing. They're just, they'll give you the consistent points and you're good. So that is unfortunate now because I loved grabbing the high-end guys almost every year. I feel like I do it. Kelsey before he broke out, Jimmy Graham before he broke out, Evan Ingram last year. Hunter Henry I kind of missed on, but he, still
like
shows
Ertz
a lot.
Last year was like 8th or 9th guy.
Right.
Like that kind of
you
thing.
had him. Yeah. That was a great pick.
So number 7 then for you.
Number 7 for me is Greg Olsen.
Okay. So yeah, those are the 7 who kind of, I think, are a little bit higher than the rest to me. That's just kind of how I would put it. After that, it goes a little more interesting. Number 8. Who do you have?
Kyle Rudolph.
I went with the same. And
once again, he's that guy I was just talking about. He is going to give you some points. He's solid. He's not going to win you weeks. You know what I mean? But he's a good player to have.
Kirk Cousins has looked for his tight end. I would say he's made the tight end position decently relevant. And so I can see that happening again. He's thrown the ball to Jordan Reed whenever Reed was actually healthy. I mean, Vernon Davis made some waves a little bit. You'd hear about him. I think Cousins will look for him. And Rudolph catches touchdowns usually. I think he's going to be a pretty decent option, but I don't see the jump necessarily. I mean, I just don't see it. I think this is kind of the level he's at. But I guess, I mean, yeah, sure, it's possible he could jump up a little bit more. But I don't think we've seen enough from him to think he could. People have him ranked as high as 5th this year, as low as 12th. So this is kind of where he falls. 8th for us, 9th overall. What do we have then for number 9? Anything good?
Yeah, I went with the man that cannot stay healthy at the moment, but he has so much upside.
There's 2 of them at least.
Tyler Eifert.
Wow.
So I'll be honest, the other guy, you'll soon find out that I haven't completely given up on, but kind of have. I mean, Tyler Eifert hasn't burned me quite yet. But you look at him and, I mean, my gosh, if he can stay on the field, he is going to pay dividends. I can say this, day in and day out. Doesn't matter until you see it. But even at this stage, at number 9 for me, the people underneath him are either exactly what they are or actually need to make that jump just like Eifert does. So I think staying on the field is always a difficult one to predict. But for Eifert, with his upside, I'm willing to put him at number 9.
I have him number 10. So,
so in the same ballpark.
I'm right there. I like Eifert. I've always liked Eifert. And if he can stay healthy, which is the biggest if with him, maybe more so than like Jordan Reed even, I can't tell. It's hard to say which one's more injury prone right now.
So who do you have at number 9 then?
Oh. I don't even want to say.
Oh, I already know who it is because you're cringing. Is it Delaney?
Yeah.
You hate Delaney so much. I don't know how you hate Delaney Walker so much.
I'm so bored of Delaney Walker.
Yeah, he's number 10 for me. He's exactly what he's going to be. You know exactly where you're getting.
He's just... He's fine. Not that exciting. But you know what? That's a good weight on tight end. Pick up Delaney Walker. You feel pretty decent week in and week out with him. I might take the chance, though, and want to see... This is where you start to take the chance on the tight end like Tyler Eifert. That's where I think it gets more interesting there. So he's your 10, my 9. Eifert, my 10. Number 11. I went with Trey Burton.
Okay, he's my number 12.
Okay,
and I feel like at this stage, I don't know if you have the same thing, but pretty much my next 3 picks are all upside guys.
That's, for the most, I think that's where we're kind of at this point. It's mainly upside at this point. Yeah, so Trey Burton, we don't know a lot about him other than he threw a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. He's looked good at times with the Eagles. The Bears obviously wanted him when... paid for him. So I think they'll probably try to use him, but that's not a guarantee.
No, but with Trubisky, and I don't really, you have Allen Robinson, but I don't know how the rest of that wide receiver group is going to shake out. Trey Burton is in a good position to get quite a bit of work. So I do like that about him, but once again, it's like anything else. It really comes down to Trubisky.
Yep. And we don't have any clue how he's going to do. So we'll just wait and see, I guess. So that was my number 11, your number 12. So we're at number 11 for you.
Number 11 is O.J. Howard.
Okay.
I always stay away from rookie tight ends. They rarely pay off. But O.J. Howard looked very good last year. And, they were supporting him and Cameron Brate. At the same time, I think O.J. Howard will be obviously the main tight end this time around. He is a freak athlete. He's very, very good. I think, once again, it's completely upside. He's out of my top 10. I got a lot of love for O.J. Howard. I'm hoping that he steps out this year.
And at some point he's going to. I just don't. Is it this year? I'm not sure yet. That's the problem with O.J. Howard. When is it? It's going to happen. It will happen.
Yeah.
It's just maybe is it this year? Is it not? I put him 13th though. I will take a chance on him. If I'm waiting around for tight end, this is a good option, I think, to wait around for a tight end with. And just take a chance on O.J. Howard, and if it doesn't work out, you find the next guy. But there's a good... I think he's extremely talented. It's going to happen. Just can't guarantee it's this year. All right, so we are at my number 12. And this is where I put Jordan Reed in. Number 12.
Okay, number 12, Jordan Reed.
Hey, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's all about health, and this guy is the most injury-prone one out there.
I'm almost writing him off. I have him at 15th.
Yeah.
He did make my list. But it's basically because you look anyone underneath that, and you're kind of like,
Ugh.
The only other person that came to mind was Austin Hooper for me at 15. So Austin Hooper didn't make my list. But Jordan Reed, you're pulling for the guy. You want him to stay healthy, and if he did, as long as you get him down here, you're getting a steal.
Mm-hmm.
But and we've talked about this ad nauseum, but at the same time, I'll say it one more time. Even with Jordan Reed, even when he is healthy, and I say this in quotations, healthy, you don't actually know. You're held at ransom every time the week is going, and you almost have to have 2 tight ends on your bench at all times in order to make sure that between Reed and whoever else you have, one of them can play. So it's a lot more work as a manager. It just becomes not worth it for the amount of games he plays.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I guess if you get him down here and you get him in a last round type thing, sure. But somebody's going to reach for him a little bit yet. Why, I don't know, but I think it's going to happen. I'll take him for $1 in an auction and just take a chance maybe. And
yeah, I mean, I have no problem with that. It's just
where I'm at.
Yeah, man. At what point do you just wash your hands?
Yeah,
But I mean, he made my list, so I'm, somewhat hypocritical at the moment.
Who is 13 then?
Number 13 is another guy with really high upside. It's David Njoku.
Okay.
I don't know. He's just such a freak athlete. They do have a ton more weapons now, so I don't know if that helps or hurts them, to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard to say. You can't. I mean, you can make the argument either way.
And really, when I get down to Njoku, out of everyone, is probably my biggest guess. I think he is the least safe, but a ton of upside. So he kind of makes it here because I'd rather take a shot at him than Jordan Reed at this point, and I'd rather take his upside rather than a boring, run-of-the-mill, whoever else we can, name down here.
Probably my number 14.
Who's that?
Jack Doyle.
Okay, he actually is my number 14 as well. So Jack Doyle, super boring.
Yeah, right. He just see. I should put Njoku ahead of Doyle because I know. And realistically, I'm looking at it. Okay, Doyle. I feel like maybe I should rank him ahead. Then when it really comes down to it in a draft, I'm like, oh god, I don't want Jack Doyle.
No, I mean, if Luck healthy,
it makes it more
Doyle.
interesting.
I don't know. It's so tough too because you look at
Ebron's there too now. Good old Ebron.
Yeah, and I think that'll actually.
He sucks.
I know. I know, and I think that'll actually hurt Doyle a little bit, and which would make sense, right? Because he was 9th last year with no good quarterback. Now you have Ebron there too, so that's gotta. I don't know.
Ebron.
Tight end in general. I have to say this. This is the one position where I do actually have to feel good about him. Where I can go numbers all day long on wide receivers and pick up a number 3 or Doug Baldwin, who is, you're probably like, he wouldn't have been my number 1 pick for a wide receiver 2 or whatever. But, I like him. I like his production.
So
there's so many guys that have the same exact production at tight end. So you might as well go with the guy that you like or has upside.
All right. So this is going to round out the episode already. My number 15. I'm with George Kittle.
Oh, I like that pick.
Just weapon for Jimmy Garoppolo. And Kittle looked he had a pretty decent rookie season. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. But towards the end of the year, I mean, this isn't like amazing numbers, but his last 3 games with Jimmy Garoppolo, I know, I'm just trying to, whatever. 4 for 52. Big 3 for 42 with a touchdown. And he ended the year with 4 for 100. So.
Yeah, I think he does have some upside.
I think there's a little bit there.
There is plenty.
I did rank him ahead of Njoku, who would have been my 16th. But yes, I do see there's a lot, probably more upside with Njoku. Yeah. So,
and I do have to say this though, with all the pieces that they grabbed in Cleveland, Njoku, falls with his possession and pretty much in the lunch line, but Kittle, it is wide open. I mean, he really can have as much work as he wants. So I do like that pick there.
So, yeah, he's not exciting, but, hey, a lot of these guys aren't.
Well, not yet.
Yeah.
Who knows? He might be the breakout candidate of this year.
Well, Yeah, I'll take a chance. I'm probably going to wait around and get a tight end this year. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Last year I did do it the Kelsey route. Worked out, but I don't know. I think I'm going to wait. I say that every year, and then the draft happens, and somebody's value just gets a little too good, and I'm like, oh, crap, here I go.
Right,
get a tight end.
I'm going to throw off my draft strategy.
So if I'm going to, I could. That's the thing. It's either you get one of the top 7, you get yourself one of those top 7, or you kind of just take a chance later on. So,
which is not that bad. I mean,
No.
I really, if you're looking at who we named late, there really is a lot of upside. Like you're between either Eifert and Reed with that health issue, or you go O.J. Howard, Trey Burton, David Njoku, even Kittle throw in there. Ton of upside. No one knows you won't have to pay a ton for him.
well, what I'm kind of thinking with the guys at the top, I think Greg Olson's going to be a value. I think when you look at it, obviously
Probably.
Gronk, Kelsey, Ertz are all going to go. Hunter Henry and Ingram obviously are going to go for something decent.
I think Rudolph will be kind of a value too.
Jimmy Graham is going to go for more. I think Olsen and those guys are going to be decent values. Delaney Walker is going to be a good value. Yeah, he will be if you want just a decent tight end for your team.
Way to be the bigger man about that one.
With no potential to be great, just potential to be good.
Well, almost a bigger man.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. But I think Olsen's going to be one of the best values up there, unless everyone else starts on that bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm starting to hear a lot about Olsen.
Oh, God, just let's keep it quiet. I'm not going to talk about him now for a long time.
I'm hoping that the Hunter Henry hype dies down by the time
it's gotten a little crazy.
Yeah, it has. I think it's just, I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. I've been hyping him for how many years now.
He's number 2. He's all the way up to number 2 on boards.
That is, that's excessive, even for me.
I mean, number 2. That's crazy on some people's.
I mean, how in the world would you put anyone over Kelsey or Gronk?
Jason Moore did. He put Hunter Henry over Kelsey.
I love Hunter Henry. I love the hubris of that move, but come on.
Hey, I just keep plugging that podcast. But all right, that'll do it for this week. Next week we will round out our early ranks. We'll do quarterbacks next week. Maybe we'll throw in a mock draft towards the end of the week. I'm not sure yet. I think that sounds fun. Do a little mock draft after we go through the ranks and we're starting to get a little feel for our teams, and then we'll see. Do I end up with Stephon Diggs on my team? Like the ranks showed.
Spoiler
I'm the
alert,
wide
he will.
receiver, most likely. But all right, that'll do it for this week. We'll talk to you guys next week.